Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 258 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition. And yeah, I was on Facebook again, and that can only mean one thing. So if you want to see which tool ended up in my shop because of that, all you need to do is stay tuned. Yes, Facebook Marketplace. The love-hate relationship continues. I almost feel like, boy, this is a low on my channel, uh, quoting Britney Spears, and her line would be, "Oops, I did it again." Yeah, I did it again. And I ended up purchasing another router. Okay, but this one we need to talk about. So I followed I followed my preferred, that's the word I'm looking for, Facebook Marketplace protocol. So I try to browse through every day or so, every couple of days if I'm busy. And I saw this router there. The price was $100. So the pictures looked really good. Like it looked like it was really lightly used. And I thought, okay, yeah, it's worth that. So I don't impulse buy, or I try not to impulse buy on Marketplace. So I tell myself, because I really don't need any more tools. Okay, that let's be clear about that. I really don't need any more tools. But I always say, well, okay, we're heading into the city. In this case, it was a Tuesday. So, you know what? I saw this, I think, the Thursday before. I said, if it's there Monday, I'll get in touch with the fellow. And then if we can make a deal, then I'll go pick it up on Tuesday when we're in the city. So that's what I did. I contacted the fellow, and I thought the last name sounded, well, my same last name as my wife had before we were married. So, oh, are we even related or whatever? And I get to his house, and it turns out that we actually did know each other through the Woodworkers Guild. But it's something that I've run into a number of times in my tool buying on Kijiji or Marketplace. It's a fellow that they're they're moving. They can no longer deal with their household, and the shop is, it just doesn't fit into the plans anymore as people age. So he was getting rid of most of his stuff. He did keep a really nice little tool chest of stuff that he says, no, these are mine. These I'm not getting rid of. So I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, I could mention names on this channel, but I don't, because then I don't have to worry about something happening with being, okay, not that I monetize, but getting in trouble with YouTube or getting in trouble with people. So I just try not to mention any names. But anyway, uh, we had some interesting conversation, and he was telling me about all the income he had generated being retired and doing woodworking, and all the jigs and patterns he had of the things that he made, which was really cool. I am very interested in people who use their hobby and their talents to generate some income. And in retirement, this would have been perfect, because not that you could have lived on it, survived on it, but it was a nice added income to the family pot. So hats off to him, and hopefully he's watching, because I did give him a card. And but now we're going to talk about the router. Why did I buy this router? Um, well, I'll tell you one thing. It was because of, I'm just going to unwrap the really, really long cord these things have, which is great. But what I was after with this router was the D handle. There we go. Okay, this handle, this is because I still work with students. This D handle router is amazing for working with kids. When I was running the shop here in the public school, I had two of these. And the first one, uh, there was a generic buy for the whole school division. and they picked this little what is it, a 691 router. And they gave me a choice if I wanted the D handle or the regular base. And I thought, well, that D handle might be really nice. And so this was right at the beginning of my career. And I decided that if one was good, two was probably better. So what these routers did is we did a lot of round over edges, setting the bit a little deeper to do a table edge, like a small grade 9 table, or but these often got used for rounding out the edges of guitar bodies before the real, handwork went to work. So I like this router because of the D handle. Now, was it in as good shape as I thought it was? Yes, pretty much. I didn't haggle on price at all. And however, there were a few little things, or two little things that I did to it almost as soon as I got it home. So for one thing, the handle here was a little bit loose, and there was only really one screw holding it. So I thought, well, that can't be right. So in the bottom part here, it looked like an insert had come out. And so I put a helicoil in it and put a bolt in. And I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. And then I tightened the top bolt, and the handle's nice and firm now. So that was important. And then the other thing I noticed is this cord and protector, or whatever you call these things. This, I'll bring you in a little closer. This thing right here. And that was broken. In fact, well, that was age and sunlight. So it was so brittle, I just popped it off. And I actually stock these things now because this isn't the first used tool that I bought that I've had to do that with. So now it's pretty much as good as the day it came out of the factory. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the medium-sized roundover bit that I use a lot, and it's going to go in this router, and it's going to stay there. So when I have a student in here doing a guitar body, they can just go around it, and it's really easy to use. Okay, the D handle. I think, well, you can get new routers with a D handle, but they are quite expensive. I'm just not into paying $300 or $400 Canadian for a router when I can get one like this for $100. But the D handle, I found it gave my students a lot more control over the router. And the other nice thing about this thing, and I haven't even done it with this one yet, but we did it at school all the time. So the knob, unthreads, and of course I dropped the washer. Okay, I'll look for that later. But it goes on this side here. Okay, I got it but it goes in here, and you've just changed this to a left-hand router, which I thought, again, for my school kids was amazing. It worked really well. Being easier to control, easier to handle, plus having that built-in left-hand ability. So I've got to find that washer yet, don't worry. But I'm sure I'll want to do something with the router later. And if I don't put the handle on, I'll be lost. There we go. So anyway, but you know what? While this router, a D handle router, I'm not just saying this one, but why a D handle router is really, really good for kids also makes it good for old people like me. You know what? We all like to think we're as strong and everything as coordinated as we used to be, but we're not. So rather than give up because you're trying to muscle around, say, a big Hitachi M12V, this is an amazing router, but it's big and it's heavy. And I don't think I've used this thing since I used it for framing our house in 2018. But obviously I've used it with guitar patterns because I've got a 1/2-inch solid carbide and a guide bushing in here. So this has done some guitar work, but it is heavy. It's a great router, and this was the staple of TV shows, homeowner router TV shows in the 80s, or sorry, in the 90s and early 2000s. So I remember seeing this router a lot. But anyway, it's big and it's heavy, and I find that I don't use it that much anymore, largely because of that. And I for sure don't use it with kids because of that. So yeah, this thing, and then I did a video on the plunge router I bought, which is an Hitachi 1.75, the M12VC with a plunge base. That also is a little bit lighter router. It's lighter than that, and we can use it to the routes that guitar bodies use are relatively small routes at a time, and that router works really good for that, and my kids can handle it really well. So yeah, this thing, I think I should just plug it in and let you hear it. So you make sure that you realize that I actually found something here. So I think it's on. Yeah, it works good. I suspect that the person I bought it from was the first owner because, well, of course, I got the wrenches with it and the 1/4-inch collet, which I have a bunch of these in my router cabinet. But also, I got the booklets, and I tell you, this little parts diagram was really handy already. I've used that. And some other Porter cable propaganda and the warranty card registration, or pardon me, warranty registration cards. So, yeah, I think, now we're to the point where the initial reaction to this tool is it's great. It's going to work in my shop. It's going to work with kids. I'm going to use it. It's going to complement my program. But what remains to be seen is the longevity of it. Like, did I buy something that is kind of at the end of its life? I don't think so. Otherwise, I don't think I'd have bought it. Or is it something that is, like I said, lightly used and is going to last maybe longer than I do? So anyway, with that in mind, I would, if you're looking for used tools, and it seems like not as many people are anymore. I have stuff that I'd like to sell that I can't get rid of. Mind you, it's angle grinders and stuff like that. But yeah, people seem to want new stuff, and yet I don't understand it because there's so much good used stuff out there that's just, it's almost to the point where if I keep watching Kijiji and I have something in mind, it's going to pop up. Like, it just does. So I also take that as a sign that I then need it. So no, don't worry. I'm not spending my wife's and our hard-earned retirement capital. Investing in my shop comes from the classes I teach and the classes I host. So, for those people who are hosting classes here, thank you so much, Hub City Turners. It helps me out with the shop, and I hope it helps the club out too. So it's a win-win situation. My students that keep coming every fall and spring, I thank them. They're awesome to work with. We may see some changes in how some of my classes are delivered next year, and probably a bit of an expansion, but that's going to be in the future. We're going to build some stuff over summer and think about it. So anyway, with that in mind, that brings this video to a close. Yeah, tomorrow, I don't know if I'll get this out today yet. This is Friday. Tomorrow's July 4th, big celebration for my American friends. The reason I always keep including Americans in my Canadian videos is that when I look at my demographics, most of my viewership is from the US, and I appreciate that. So anyway, we'll try to keep putting out some content that you like, hopefully. Share this with others, and have an amazing 4th of July. And you know what? We'll see you about the middle of next week.